You were standing on the quiet Seoul street with grocery bags in your trembling hands. Raindrops were soaking through your light beige dress until it clung to your skin. Your hair was plastered against your cheeks and mascara was smudged slightly under your eyes. You sniffled and looked around, but no one was there. Your driver had taken the car to a nearby mechanic shop after it broke down in the middle of the road. You had told him that you will catch a taxi, but no taxi was coming in this way. You shivered, your lips were turning pale due to cold. Ish, why does it always happen to me? The thought of calling your husband Jungkook crushed your mind, but you immediately shook your head. It's not like he was cruel, he was just showed no any affection to you. He never showed care, he was a man who ruled the city's underworld. People feared his name, but you still couldn't figure out how to reach his heart. With a sigh, you looked around and then you saw a yellow taxi coming at your direction. You waved desperately. A juicy taxi, please stop. Seeing you waving helplessly, the driver stopped the taxi in front of you and rolled down the window. Miss, you will get sick out there. Come in quickly. You lightly smiled and climbed in. Thank you so much, you whispered. The driver gave you a small smile through the rearview mirror. You live far? You nodded. To the June mansion. His eyes widened slightly and he quickly looked front. He didn't say anything after that. Most people didn't when they heard the name. You pressed your forehead to the cold glass, watching the lights blurred into streaks. After a while, the taxi stopped in front of the grand iron gates, and two bulky guards immediately rushed forward. Ma'am, one of them exclaimed as he rushed to open the door. The other one grabbed the grocery bags from you and paying the driver, they followed you inside the massive marble foyer. You whispered, you can keep them in the kitchen, thank you. They nodded with a bow. The mansion was silent, too silent. The only sound was the rain beating against the tall glass windows. You took a deep breath and climbed the grand staircase. As you pressed by Jungkook's study door, you froze for a moment. You could hear faint sounds of paper shuffling. You went straight to your room. The mirror showed your reflection. It was pale, fragile. You sat softly and stepped into the bathroom. You sniffled again, feeling your throat burn. After a while, you came out. Your damp hair was clinging to your neck and your body was trembling as you walked back to the bed, your eyes widened. Jungkook was sitting on the bed with his cold, serious face. He was typing something on his laptop, which was placed on his lap. Before his sharp eyes could catch you, you quickly turned and rushed back to the bathroom. Locking the door, you pressed your back against the bathroom wall and let out a heavy sigh. Thankfully, he didn't see. You quickly changed and came out. You went straight to the dressing table. Jungkook looked up, his dark eyes softened just a bit when he saw your flushed face and trembling hands, but he just stayed quiet as usual. Suddenly you sneezed. He looked up again but didn't say anything. You noticed that. Forcing a smile, you said, I went to grocery with Mr. Han and car got. Before you could complete your sentence, his mobile phone rang. He saw the caller ID and said, Excuse me. Before answering the call, you let out a low, painful chuckle and applying the lotion, you walked towards the bed. With a low sigh, you laid down. Yeah, that's good. I will call you later now. He hung up the call and tilted his head towards you. So, you were saying something. You looked at him and forced a smile. Nothing. I think I just caught a cold. You said and quietly slipped under the blanket. Jungkook closed the laptop and stood up. You blinked, watching him leave without a word. Did I upset him again? You thought, biting your lip. After a few minutes, a soft knock came at the door. Come in. A middle-aged woman, Miss Jeon, stepped inside while holding a wooden tray in her hands. She smiled, looking at you. Here, ma'am, a warm soup. You should have this while it is hot. Huh? Did you make this? The maid hesitated for a moment and then smiled nervously. Yes, ma'am, I was passing by the door and then I heard you were sneezing, so I thought you might need something warm. You smiled suspiciously. Ah, thank you. She bowed and left. As soon as she left, you picked up the spoon. The soup was warmly. It was not too salty, not too plain. You frowned slightly. Did she really make this? You thought for to yourself, but drank it anyway because it was really delicious. As you finished the soup, you set the empty tray on the side table. Just then the door creaked open again and Jungkook walked in pretending to look for something on the desk. He saw the empty bowl and slightly smiled to himself. The next morning, you stepped out of the bathroom. A towel was wrapped around your hair. You were dressed in a simple red gown. Droplets were still clinging to your neck as you stood before the mirror. Jungkook was still laying on the bed. His eyes were closed, but he was just pretending to sleep. When you reached for your earrings, you caught a glimpse of him through the mirror. He was staring at you secretly. You smiled to yourself. You decided not to react. Instead, you continued getting ready. Jungkook's heart was racing as he was seeing you, how gracefully you were getting ready. You blushed and then looking at yourself for one last time in the mirror, you walked downstairs to prepare breakfast for him. The moment you left the room, he opened his eyes. He liked you secretly, but he didn't know how to show his emotions. After a while, you were preparing the breakfast when you heard the footsteps coming downstairs. You raised your head up to see Jungkook. He was wearing a black shirt and sleeves were rolled up. The veins on his hands were visible as he was adjusting his watch. You glanced at him and smiled shyly. Breakfast is ready. He sat down, but then his mobile phone rang. As you served him the juice, you glanced at the screen. The screen flashed with a name that made your stomach twist. It was Defne, his best friend. Hey Daphne, you called after so long, he said while chewing the pancakes and put the phone on speaker. You heard the girl laughing on the other side. Cookie, yeah, I miss you so much. I came this year after 5 years. I want to meet you and I also want to see who is the lucky woman who became your wife. Your eyes widened. Cookie, yeah? He chuckled, glancing at you. You were looking quite jealous, and he knew that. You placed the glass on the table a little too hard, thunk. The sound sharp in the quiet room. Jungkook's lips curved into a smirk. He had noticed. He always noticed. He continued the conversation casually just to tease you. You have really changed, Daphne. You sound more dramatic than before. She giggled. Only with you, Cookia. Your jaw clenched. You stabbed your food with a fork. Your eyes were fixed on your plate. Jungkook leaned back slightly, pretending not to see, but his shoulders shook with a laugh. Ah, you still laugh like that. You have not changed a bit. You rolled your eyes and started pacing off the boiled eggs. You placed one in his plate and said, forcing a smile, do you want some eggs? He met your gaze with amusement. No, I am good, thanks. Maybe your best friend would like someone too. He coughed to hide his laugh. Huh? What did you say? Nothing. You step another piece of pancake aggressively. Jungkook chuckled lightly when the call ended. He placed his phone down, clearly pleased with your reaction. He finished the last bite of the breakfast slowly just to draw out your impatience. Finally, he stood up, adjusting his coat. I will be late today. You didn't look up. Work? He smiled, walking closer until he stood behind your chair. His voice dropped near your ear. And for the record, you look cute when you are jealous. Who said I am jealous? He chuckled, straightening his tie. No one had to, I can see. Your cheeks flushed. He held his bag and walked out. In the evening, you were sitting on the edge of the bed. Your legs were folded beneath you. It was a oversized shirt. The sleeves were slightly covering your hands. You smiled faintly, playing with the cuff of the shirt. You had been bored, and for some reason, down in his office, Jungkook leaned back in his chair, staring blankly at the files in front of him. His mind was not on work. It was on you. He kept thinking of how small you had looked in the blanket the previous night. His lips twitched. She deserved to be loved properly, he thought, running a hand through his hair. Time skipped. Jungkook returned from work. You were sitting on the bed. Wyan? He muttered under his breath with wide eyes. You looked up, pretending not to notice his expression, and rolled your eyes. What? He blinked, trying to compose himself. That's my shirt. Shouldn't I wear, or should Defne wear it instead? He quickly noticed the jealousy Jungkook wrote immediately. When did I say that? Stop assuming things. You stood up, crossing your arms. No, I am right. The Daphne is more precious to you. Isn't she? No, she's my friend. Oh, really? You don't even talk to your wife properly, but you talk to her frankly. Isn't it injustice? Hey, that's not what you are saying. No, she's not just your friend. You treat her different. No, I don't. After a while, when he pulled back, realization flashed across his face. He turned quickly, running a hand through his hair, and headed towards the bathroom without a word. You stood there, still stunned. After a while, he came out. His hair was slightly damp from splashing water on his face. Now you were lying on the bed, pretending to reach, but your heart was still racing. He cleared his throat, hesitantly looking at you. Wyan, I just got mad when you mentioned Daphne. You slowly turned to him. He looked genuinely troubled. His dark eyes were softer. He smiled a little and sat on the edge of the bed beside you. Your breath hitched. The honesty in his voice made your cheeks warm. He turned his head, meeting your gaze. You are precious to me. You blinked, unsure what to do. Then a tiny giggle escaped your mouth. Jungkook frowned. Why are you laughing? I still can't believe you said so. He smiled. Your cheeks flushed more. You quickly slipped under the blanket. The next morning, you woke up and heard the laughing sound from down the stairs. You paused, listening. It was Jungkook's laugh. You frowned. Whom he is laughing with? You thought to yourself, and wearing your shoes, you walked downstairs. As you reached the stairs, you saw Jungkook. He was sitting on the couch. His arm was resting casually over the back. He was talking to a woman. It was Defne. She was sitting right beside him. She was an elegant, with long hair and an expensive dress. Your steps slowed. Jungkook looked up the moment he sensed you. His face lit up instantly. Hey, wifey, come here. You forced a weak smile and walked closer. Good morning. He stood up and walked towards you. He held your hand gently, and as he felt that you were quite nervous. Daphne's smile faltered slightly as she looked at you. Her eyes scanned your face, your black gown, the ring on your finger. Oh, you are even more beautiful than I imagined, she said, but her tone didn't match her words. There was a hint of envy, of disbelief. You smiled faintly. It is nice to see you. Daphne gave a small laugh, though it didn't reach her eyes. Ah, you are so lucky. No, it is me who is blessed, he said softly, looking at you. You blushed down while Daphne forced an envious smile. In the evening, you made the dinner and went upstairs to take a shower. Jungkook was sitting in the living room using his mobile phone while Daisy had went to the guest room. After taking a warm shower, you slipped into a comfortable gown and walked out of the bedroom. As you were descending the stairs, while smiling to yourself, suddenly you felt a sudden shove. Your eyes widened and the world around you spun. You gasped as you felt loose balance, but before your body could hit the marble floor, someone caught you. You looked up trembling. It was Jungkook. His expression was pure shock and fury. Wyan, are you okay? You looked at him with wide, innocent eyes. Tears welled up in your eyes while your heart raced. I am fine, you whispered weakly. You are sure you are not hurt anywhere? You shook your head, trying to breathe properly. Jungkook started upward, blazing with anger. He glanced at Defne, who was standing at the top of the stairs. She was frozen at the place, her eyes were wide, and guilt was written all over her face. Jungkook, don't you speak. She flinched, tears instantly spilled down her cheeks. I didn't mean to. You trembled. I'm sorry, I didn't think. Get out. Get out of my house, Daphne, right now. She shook her head, crying, please, Cookie, I'm so sorry. Don't call me that. You lost every right to speak to me. Get out and never come back. She sobbed and ran out, her heels clicked against the marble floor until the sound disappeared beyond the mansion doors. You were still trembling, your hands were clutching. He looked back at you immediately. My princess, you are okay, right? Tell me you are okay. You nodded slowly, your voice was breaking. Yes, I am fine now. He let out a shaky breath, pulling you gently. I swear, Ryan, if anything ever happens to you, I will lose my mind. You are my life now. He caressed your hair gently.